All right, guys, this thing should look a lot different again. Last time I showed you we had the dashboard. Now we have the upper dash tore out, as well as the firewall. And that firewall went right here, of course. The dash went on top, and then the dashboard. So slowly but surely, we're getting this thing tore apart. A lot of wires. I didn't realize there were so many wires and so many fuel lines. This one was attached to that firewall. I started pumping it up, didn't realize that it was attached. So we kind of bent that, but I'm figuring on replacing it. Everywhere that you see tissue or paper towel, that is an orifice that is open that I didn't want anything to get in. I don't care if anything gets out, because in the long run, we're gonna flush everything, the coolant system, the oil system, the hydraulic system, everything's gonna get flushed. We have a couple of rags stuffed down in there, that's hydraulics. This is where the water temperature sensor went, and then of course there is where the air intake is. So those orifices we do have clogged up with paper towel. We did pull one pin out on this blade system, and I was going to come around this side and pull the other pin out and then drag this dozer back so that way I could get the blade system pulled over and get it out of here. That is pretty much in my way right now, because the next step is right here, this hood. That's the next thing to come off. But before I do that, I have a great big pin down in here that I have to take out, just like I did on the other side. I thought I could access it maybe through here, but man, it's going to be a pain in the gazip. So here's the track. There's my gas bottles. They're still not full. Guys, I know I'm going to have to buy a new chain. The pins are ovaled out real bad. The chain is loose. So I know what the price is on a new, and I know what the price that I can pick some used ones up for. So I think we're just going to go with brand new chains. I'll just have to strip each and every one of these pads off and put them on a new chain. So with that being said, we are just going to take a Sawzall and cut the pin on both sides of that link and drop that chain, punch it out, and then pull that chain off. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'll take you guys with time lapse. Here we go. Well, that's not exactly the preferred way to do this, but that's the only way I could do it. I kind of messed up by taking those cylinders off because I couldn't lift this to lift that. So we just left that plop down on the ground. So now I'm going to have a heck of a time. I think I can get a jack under this little tip here, and we'll jack this up, block this up, get everything cleaned out. Here we go. All right, this one is a little tighter than the other side. We kind of took a scraper and scraped the back side of this to allow the adjuster rod to slide through that bracket. But as you can see, I have a clamp set up as a push clamp. So now we're going to try to push this out with the clamp. Let's see if I can't hold the camera, and oh yeah, it's not going to work. All right, we're going to have to try a different way. But yeah, ultimately we're going to get that idler wheel off the adjuster and the spring. Here we go. All right, guys, I know in one of my previous videos I said without that, this wouldn't be here, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I rolled the track up using the skid steer, just kind of got under one leg of it and just rolled it up, rolled it up, rolled it up. When I had it all rolled up, put a strap on it, then hung it by a chain off the bucket, put it on the pallet, and just gave it a push, left it fall down on the pallet. So we have everything for the right side track system that we have all so far on that pallet. I have another pallet sitting out front that has all the dashboard and that kind of stuff on it. I didn't take the instruments out. I'm going to let that in here, but that's all that. And stuff that's going to move around, I do take some wire ties, wire tie it down so it can't fall off. So we're going to run this back to that back building and run that pallet there with the dashboard stuff. And I got the pins out of the blade system. So the blade system is actually blocked up separate from the actual dozer. So when we get done moving all these pallets back there to the back, and my yard is all muddy, but once we get done there, we're gonna come in here, hook a chain, hopefully, don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna hook a chain up to the drawbar, hook a chain up to either the forks or the bucket, and I have a bunch of wood here for the sprocket to roll back on, as well as a bunch of wood here for the slide to slide on. Once we get that pulled back far enough that I can get that whole blade system out of here, that blade system is gonna leave. Then I'm gonna try to push this right back up where it was and continue on. So stick with me. Man, I sure do appreciate you guys watching. All right, guys, here goes nothing. Or something. Well, that went better than expected. Coming off that previous video, you can obviously see that the skid steer is back in its place and the dozer is no longer here. The dozer is here, and you also can tell that the blade is gone. I was gonna film the blade just like I did pulling that dozer back, but man, this went bad real quick and we forgot about the camera and everything else. Came in with the skid steer, put one fork on the blade angled, but the structure stayed straight. In doing so, I'll be honest with you, all my hydraulic hoses, I have a ton of plugs and a ton of caps of different sizes on plugs and caps, but I did not have the right size for the hydraulic lines for the blade system. So when I pushed on that blade, the blade angled, the structure stayed where it was. All of the oil from the back side of one cylinder and the front side of the other cylinder shot out all over my floor. We went through about 5 gallons worth of Absorball, just dumped it everywhere. And then we did the old Absorball dance where you go back and forth and you grind it in to get the oil out of the concrete. And we got it cleaned up pretty good. We had all that cleaned up before we pushed the dozer up here. And here's where we are now. The next step is definitely going to be this cowling. I come out here and I kind of look at it. The only thing I'm not sure is my hydraulic pump is down inside here. And I'm not sure if that is attached to the cowling in any way or if that's attached to a main frame rail. I've looked around the radiator. The radiator does not appear to be attached to the cowling. So this is going to be the next thing to take off. I have a bolt here that is double nutted on the inside. I have a bolt here that is double nutted on the inside. And then I'm thinking that I'll hook a chain to the back of the hood, to the front of the hood on this side, and to the front of the hood on this side on that bolt. Put a little pressure on the upswing of that and then start undoing bolts. I really don't want to do that until I have somebody out here with me. And I have a coworker coming over Thursday, and we're probably going to tear it off Thursday. But that is the next thing to go. And yeah, if you're a John Deere guy, hopefully, even if you don't appreciate the fact that I don't do how-to videos, you'll appreciate that how I'm tearing this thing down, because I don't want to put lipstick on a pig, as I showed in that one video. I want to make sure that I get it stripped down, I get it sandblasted, wire wheeled, whatever. And I do know that one of my idler, that's not good. The others are fairly good that I've been on, but that one there I think is going to have to be replaced. They're not idler wheels, they are bogey wheels, or whatever you guys call them. Proper terminology, leave a comment down in the comment section. But yeah, I know I have to get at least one. This whole undercarriage, not in bad shape, but a little worse than what I actually thought. But we'll get through it. Let's go.